Alright, so right now you are losing sales. And no, Becky, it is not because your product sucks. It's not because people don't need it. But you're not using one thing, Becky. Come on, Becky. Alright, and it's not some, fancy marketing jargon either. It's actually something that's fairly simple that everyone uses in day-to-day conversation. It's one 5-letter word, and it instantly converts that no people have been giving you into a yes. And that word is because. Because most people, right, when they pitch their product, they kind of just, word vomit and then hope it sticks. Like, limited time offer, that's one a lot of us throw out. But the human brain just simply does not work like that. People need a reason to do something. They need to have a cause to act. And without a good reason, they'll stall, they'll hesitate, and they'll eventually just think about it and go, I don't need it anyways. I'm gonna just go, keep on scrolling. I'm just keep on looking through the shelves and I think something else will come along. But the funny part about this because is you don't need to make it like an earth-shattering, the world will explode if you don't get my products. But just the act of giving some sort of reason triggers something in our brains that automatically kind of comply. It satisfies the deep psychological itch we all have when wondering, do I really need that product? Think about it like this. How many times have you ignored a sales pitch, a door-to-door salesman, because it just felt like an empty claim? As I said, buy now, limited time offer. Oh, why should I care? Everyone runs these almost all the time. But actually, research shows that adding because after a request makes people comply over 90% of the time, even if the reason is weak. So if you're tired of people scrolling past your offers, emails, DMs, anything like that, it's probably because you're not giving them a reason to say yes right now. So if you master this one word and watch how fast your sales grow, it will transform how you think and speak forever. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, right? Who's this little lowlife with 300 subscribers telling me that this is how I should sell? Well, simply because my name is Evan Weekly. I know that's not a good reason, but hear me out. I was a sales technique coach at my last job before I unfortunately had to quit. And right now I'm furthering my education by in the fall, here in 3 weeks' time, I will be attending the University of Kentucky to study marketing. Because simply, here on the Business Made Simple channel, I will never charge you a dime for anything, but only a little time. Why? Because this ultimate sales cheat code, even though I've already kind of told you. First, but we need a little psychology lesson in, right? The human brain is just wired for justification. We don't like being told to do this, do that, you must be like this. We need a reason behind all of it. We need a why. The moment someone gives us a reason though, even if it's a weak one, our brain kind of relaxes and says, okay, this makes sense now. I'll do it. And believe it or not, there's actually a famous experiment that kind of revolved around all this. It was called the copy machine study by Ellen Langer. In this study, researchers asked people if they could cut in line to use a copy machine. When they simply said, can I use the copier? About 60% of the people said, yeah. But when they added a reason behind wanting to use a copier, it jumped up to 90%. So instead of saying can I just use a copier, they asked, can I use a copier because I need to make copies? But can you think about how ridiculous that is? Of course you need to make copies, but just by adding the word because, it flipped a switch in some people's brains, and it kind of made them agree. This is because it is called automatic compliance. It bypasses critical thinking and taps into a built-in human response. If there's a reason, it must be valid. Now, let's bring this into a sales scenario. Imagine you're on a sales call, right? Your name's John. Boing, boing. Hi, my name's John with Solar Enterprises. And you start this call by just saying, hey, we recommend you start with our pro plan. That's just a plain out statement. Why? I don't even know who you are or what your business does. But imagine if John said this. We recommend starting with our pro plan because it gives you a full access to features that directly grow revenue. Now it feels like there's a plan. There's a direct and logical step that follows you buying the pro plan. And remember, this doesn't just work in conversations. This works all over. This can work in emails. This can work in landing pages, ads, you name it, it's gonna work. Because for example, right, instead of saying like, sign up for my newsletter, you should say like, sign up because we'll give it like, in-depth, super exclusive, like sales strategies. And can we just talk about lazy pitches for a second? The reason lazy pitches lose sales a lot of the time is because they give no reason for the person to care. When you remove the because, you force the audience to come up with a reason in their mind to justify the reason they're doing it. Like, I may need solar, I think, I don't really, but eventually they'll reach the justification in the mind that like, hey, I can hold off, I don't need it yet, I can wait a few more years. But when you give them a reason, all the doubt in their mind dissipates. And it fast tracks the decision making. Now, if you're wondering yourself, right, how do I make my claim, like my limited time offer, into something like this because kind of format? Well, this is called making claims into arguments. And this is where everybody loses sales. Because they start thinking to themselves, just saying a fact is enough to persuade someone, like, our product is faster, our product's better, it's more innovative. But facts themselves are just weak. I mean, they float around in the air without any weight. And a claim is just a statement until you add the word because. And then you turn that statement into an argument. And arguments are where people start to act. Because let's say hypothetically, right, you sell a course. Whether you like it or not, you're selling a course right now. And you tell people, this course will teach you how to grow on YouTube, guaranteed. Well, that's just a claim. You're saying it's gonna, but how do they know it's gonna? Now take that claim, because this will give you a proven system how I use to scale my channel from 0 to 1 billion subscribers or something like that. Now that's an argument. The first one feels just empty. It's going nowhere. They don't know if it's actually going to work or not. But the second one feels, undeniable. Like, it's got to work if it helped him scale from 0 to 1 billion. And remember, people don't just buy products. They buy reasons. The clearer and more specific your reason, the faster they will say yes to your product. And this is why usually vague CTAs like, please subscribe, always just flop and do not work. Because there isn't any mode of action. But if you offer something for subscribing, your CTA is obviously gonna work a lot more. And also because just blankly using the word because automatically boosts your credibility because you're justifying your sale in some given fashion. Here's the overall bottom line of today's video. Because is the fastest and simplest way to turn your just claim and going nowhere business into this giant 10xing your sales, putting your name on the map. It can turn lazy pitches into the best persuasive arguments. It can remove friction because people rarely don't buy because of price, but they usually don't buy because they don't feel safe yet with the decision, which is where the word because helps, because you're justifying why they should buy it right now. And it just builds trust because you're showing you've thought about your product and why it should matter to the specific audience you're advertising towards. And this is what separates those high converting salespeople from the ones who keep hearing, let me think about it. So to start using the word because in your offers, your emails, your DMs, your freaking LinkedIn, I don't know what you use to advertise, you do you. It's such a tiny tweak that we often overthink and forget about it, but it creates massive leverage in the actual space itself. And if you did find this video valuable at all, do me a favor, hit the like button channel and drop a comment below. Tell me how you're going to use this strategy in your next pitch. And if you want me to break down even more tactical sales scripts like this, please let me know in the comments as well, because I've got plenty more ideas lined up. And of course, as I said before, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to try to build the biggest YouTube channel for business soft skills that exist on the internet, that have no fancy jargon, that are very straight to the point and very easy to apply. But yeah, remember, don't have a good day, have a great day. See y'all later.